Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Relax Bro. I'm very excited for this episode. So let's go ahead and get into this. Hello. How was your day?
Oh, my day's been great. I didn't really sleep in. I'm at that age where that's kind of hard to do now. But I laid in bed and did my puzzles on my iPhone and took my time. And then I went to a workout class. Have you heard of LVL Fitness?
No, I haven't.
It's a workout method called Legree, and they make you hold poses for a certain amount of time, like really slow movements. But at some point, you start shaking
Yeah, you're.
because,
Oh my
but
gosh.
it's supposed to develop your slow twitch muscle. So I went and did that, and then I practiced the piano a little bit. My daughter, one of my daughters, I have four daughters. One of my daughters is going to perform her French horn in it's called solo ensemble. There's judges, so she will be judge, and I'm going to be her accompanist. So we were practicing
Oh
that.
wow,
Yeah,
that'll
yeah,
be fun.
yeah,
So why don't you introduce yourself? I should have done that from the start.
yeah. No problem. I'm Elise Martin, and
You can plug your stuff. I would really appreciate that you did.
okay. I'm a veterinarian. I've been a veterinarian for 21 years, and currently, what I do is in-home euthanasia for pets. And so, when that time comes for your pet, I come to your home and I do that procedure in the comfort and privacy of your home. And so that's pretty much all that I am currently doing. I quit doing all the other vet stuff once I started this business.
Um, and that's unfortunately, I guess, how me and you met. And
Correct.
I want to just say, in front of everything, thank you so much because I said this to you before. I just don't think you understand how important what you do is to people like me who think of their pets as part of the family or more. They're uh, they're important things to a lot of people, and I think there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pets they're not just like your backyard protector, but they're a part of your family. Very much so.
They become like, I mean, my nephew. Like my nephew thought of him as like a friend.
Mhm.
And so yeah, thank you for what you
Oh,
do,
you're
and
welcome.
I'm very curious to get into how you found that, but I want to start the episode like I do most episodes, and I want to hear about your childhood and how you grew up. And were you always in Bakersfield? Did you grow up in
No,
Bakersfield?
no. Actually, I was born in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Both my parents are from Japan. My dad was from Tokyo. My mom was from Gifu, and that's where I was born.
Okay.
So actually, uh, how we came to California, it's because of my dad. His family owned a cutlery shop, so it was a store that sold knives primarily, and other little knickknacks.
Did they
But
make the knives?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But I think, my dad, he went to school, majored in chemical engineering, and he did not want to um, do that job. He didn't want to follow in the family business. He wanted to make money. So he asked himself, what jobs make money? And so he thought, well, lawyers make a lot of money. So he decided that he wanted to come to the United States and become a lawyer. So he applied for a job and he got a job in a law firm in Los Angeles. And he spoke very little English, but he flew over by himself, left my mom, who was pregnant with me at the time, and he started working at
He
a
he went to law school in Japan, or
No,
here?
no, no. So at this point, he just had his chemical engineering background,
Oh,
but he went
okay,
to go
but that
work at a patent law firm. So patent law, that's the branch that deals with um, filing patents. So if you um, have an invention and you want to protect it so that other companies don't just copy you right away and steal the money from you, you file a patent so that your invention is protected for a set number of years. So he went to go work in a law firm that dealt with that, and he wasn't an attorney, but he helped like as a legal clerk or patent agent. I don't know what his exact title
he has
was.
like the knowledge to be like, no, no,
Yes, you have to
yeah,
have a science
yeah,
background
yeah.
for that because there's a lot of um, some of those inventions are very scientific in their detail, and
Hmm.
so he had the appropriate background, but he still needed to go to law school. So he did go to law school, and
Which I
he
imagine he was making pretty good money where what he was doing. He just wanted
as a law clerk, I don't know. I don't know. This was
with
back
his
in the
background.
70s.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was born in
interesting.
74.
Okay.
So yeah, this was shortly before that. And he went to law school. He eventually passed the bar exam, and he was working as a lawyer. And he and uh, another man, Bill Androla, they opened up their own law firm, and they started Coda and Androla. So Coda is my maiden name.
Andrel too. So
Androla, yeah,
Androla,
Coda and
that's the
Androla. So
okay.
that's the other partner's name.
Gotcha.
So they started that firm, and it was an international patent law firm. So because my dad was fluent in Japanese, he dealt with a lot of the big companies from Japan, like
Hmm.
Kodak, Sanyo,
Yeah.
Ricoh, and he would help them file patents in the United States. So he had a very successful business, and he always had a dream that I would eventually come and join him. Um, so going back a little bit, I was born in Japan, and then when I was 6 months old, my
He's
mom
yeah.
and I flew over to Los Angeles and joined my
So
dad.
so you didn't ever experience like without him. You 6 months, like
6 months. So
yeah,
yeah,
okay,
my dad wasn't there when I was born. He
yeah,
met me when I was six
gotcha.
months. Yeah. So
Do you have any parent or siblings at all?
I do. I have a younger sister. One
Okay,
younger sister.
born here.
She was born here. Yeah. So we starting out, we weren't wealthy. I remember we lived in an apartment, and then we rented a small house. My dad had a vehicle, but my mom had a bicycle, and I would sit on the back on one of those little seats, and she would bike me to school. um, but my dad became successful, and we moved several times into bigger and bigger houses, but all along his dream was for me to work with him. So
Do you remember sitting in the bike?
I do remember that.
Yeah,
Yes.
a good memory.
um I guess so. I guess, yeah. I don't remember thinking too much about it, but
Do you speak
I
Japanese?
do. I do.
Really?
Yes.
Anytime you want to throw something of that in there.
Okay. Yeah, actually, so my parents, they were speaking to me in Japanese at home. So when I started preschool, I didn't speak any English. So,
How do you
but
say relax, bro?
oh gosh, that's not a term that would be easily translated.
Calm down, brother.
I gotta think on that. I gotta
Okay.
think on the best way to say that. But,
Uh,
um, um,
sorry,
oh,
yeah.
no, no, no.
Those are the
Okay.
questions I talk
Yeah.
about. I'll get you sidetracked all day.
So the preschool told my parents, okay, one of you can speak to her in Japanese at home, and one of you speak to her in English. And so then I learned to speak English, and in fact, my Japanese was, I wouldn't speak Japanese in the home. So my mom, even to this day, my mom will speak to me in Japanese, and I speak back to her in English. Um,
Why is that?
I think that um, English became my primary language, and it was harder for me to argue back with my mom in Japanese. So
Oh,
I
interesting.
spoke English. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And so your dad was the one speaking to you in Japanese?
No, my mom was speaking to me in
Oh, really?
Japanese. My dad
Okay.
was speaking to me in English. Yeah, and
Really?
I spoke back to both of them in English. And
I was curious. You think that does he ever speak in Japanese now?
well, he passed away
Oh,
11 years ago, but yeah, he would talk to my mom in Japanese.
what was his name?
Henry.
Henry.
Yeah.
Uh, we like to honor those who have passed
Oh,
on the
thank you.
show. So if you want to say his name to the camera,
Henry Coda.
rest in peace.
Yes. So he
Sounds like a really good guy.
oh,
He just cared
he's
about you guys, like your
very,
family.
very ambitious, and nothing would hold him back. If he wanted to do something, he would do it. He didn't have very much money, but he found a way to come to this country and become a lawyer with very little English, speaking very little English. So he's been an inspiration to me. I think, well, I can do whatever I want to if I just set my mind to it. I'm sure I can do it. So, and it's
You,
because I had him for a dad.
you said a couple times, I think keep cutting you off, but he wanted you to follow into his
Yes,
business.
so that was my path. So in after high school, I went to UC San Diego for college, and I knew that I needed a Bachelor of Science degree to go into patent law. Um, and so I chose animal physiology and neuroscience. So that was my major in
Would that
college.
would that work? Would that
Yeah,
okay?
Bachelor of Science degree. And after I finished college, I my dad set me up with a job or internship with a law firm in Japan, a patent law firm with one of his good friends. And so I took a year after college and I went and worked there. Yeah. And I think the most important thing that I learned there was that I didn't want to be a lawyer. I just, I'm not interested in.
Is there a difference there than here in the law, like
I
type
mean, and
stuff?
I didn't practice law because I had, I just had my college degree, so I did secretarial duties. I translated documents, wrote emails.
Did you like it there?
I liked it. I liked the people that I met. Everyone was so nice to me. I learned a lot, but I also learned that I don't like the paperwork. None of it interested me.
Yeah.
So, and by this time, I had already taken the LSAT, which is the test that you need to take to apply to law school. I had already applied to law school. I got into a few different law schools, and all I had to do was, after I finished that year, go start law school. Well, I decided I didn't want to, and just the thought of going to law school depressed me. And so I remember calling him from Japan at that office and telling him I don't want to go to law school. And I was crying, and my dad was really upset. But I finished out that year. I came home,
You were
and
crying because you didn't want to hurt him.
yeah, I felt really bad. I mean, this was his dream. And,
Hmm.
since I was a kid, that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to be a lawyer with him and join his law firm.
Did he ever show any like resentment or anything from
No,
that? No.
no, no. I mean, he questioned my judgment, and it's like, are you crazy? You have all the support that you need from your parents. You're already in a law school. You just have to go through it, and
Yeah.
you will be very successful and wealthy. But I just didn't want to do that. So
Do you think that that was from growing up in an American influence? Like, would you, if you grew up in Japan, would you have had that same type of
no, I'm sure I would have just done what my parents
yeah?
wanted. Yeah.
Can you explain? Can you elaborate like some?
Um, well, in Japan, it's so here in the U.S., we have an opinion. Me, me, me. We have a voice, and we um, are proud to express our own opinions and be different. In Japan, it's more valued to be one of many. Don't disrupt. Don't be an outlier. Um, try to be like everybody else. Don't brag about yourself. Don't brag about your kids. If anything, downplay yourself, and say, oh, no, 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 I'm no good. You're better than me. So, um, that's why I say I would have just done what my parents told me to. I wouldn't have said, no, I
Yeah.
don't want to do that. Yeah, I
And
don't
that's
see
why it was
myself.
like, yeah, that's why you took it so hard, is because like you almost felt like you were letting them down.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. But then I had to think about what it was that I wanted to do with my life, because I wasn't one of those kids who had always wanted to be a veterinarian. I didn't know much about it. And in fact, I remember thinking one of my friends in college, she had decided to go to veterinary school. And I thought, oh, she's so smart. Like, why doesn't she just go into human medicine instead? Um, but at some point, I guess I decided, well, I love animals, and I want to do something with them. And so I decided maybe I will go to veterinary school. So luckily, with my degree in college, I had all of the prerequisites that I needed to apply to vet school, because there's a lot. There's a lot of classes you have to
How
have.
long do you have to go?
Well, so undergraduate is 4 years, because you have to take things like calculus, chemistry, organic chemistry, physics, biochemistry, molecular biology. There's a long list of classes you must have taken in order to apply to vet school.
Yeah.
So by the end of that, you pretty much have your bachelor's degree. So I'd say 90. You don't have to have a bachelor's degree to apply to veterinary school, but you have to have taken those classes.
Yeah.
So I'd say most people have their Bachelor of Science degree by the time they apply to vet school. And then you have to take your GRE, which is the equivalent of like an SAT for graduate school. So I took the GRE, and then they take your GRE score, your GPA from college, letters of recommendations, experience, and put that all together and decide whether or not they want to admit you to vet school. It's really, really competitive.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest part of becoming a veterinarian, is getting into vet school.
Yeah.
If you think about how many law schools and medical schools there are just in California, there's a ton of them. But veterinary school, when I was applying, there was only one. That was UC Davis in California. And so the acceptance rate was probably like 10%. 1,000 people applied, 100 got in. So
Let's slow down a little bit.
okay.
I want to hear a little bit about we're still where we're at the point where you and your dad had that conversation. I want to keep going from there, and
Okay.
I'm going to keep reminding you,
Uh-huh.
because I'll just go on tangents. But I want to know everything I can about you. Like I said, I think you're a special person, so I just want to not miss anything.
Sure. Yeah.
Your parents, were they never did they? How was your household? Were you guys like?
Strict household, I would say. Um, it was a little bit difficult because culturally, um, I would see my friends' households, and they were very different from mine. And so that's hard, growing up, and especially in the teenage years, to be different is hard. So I hated being Japanese. I hated not having a family like all of my friends had. Um, for example, Christmas is not really something that they celebrate the same way in Japan as they do here. So, we would get maybe a couple of presents under the tree from Santa, and um, then I would go next door to my friend's house, and they had so many presents, and I thought, how is that fair? That's why, I don't get it. Little things like that, which looking back now, it's dumb. But when you're a kid, you want the things that your friends have.
Over there, do they connect Christmas with Jesus Christ at all?
No.
No.
Well, if you are a Christian, but that's not I guess there aren't that many Christians in Japan or Catholic people. It's Buddhism and Shintoism are the primary religions there. So Christmas is more of a commercial
Okay.
holiday for
Yeah. All
them.
right.
Yeah, yeah. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. She never worked. My dad was worked all day long. He'd be gone all day long. He'd come home at like 8, and we'd all eat dinner together. But because my mom was always there, she was very strict. So uh, if
What do you
I,
mean strict? Like, don't don't say that word. Like, what do you mean strict? Like, you can't. Was she like? Because I'm clearly already learning that you guys have your parents care a lot about you.
mm-hmm,
Um, Culturally in America, that's not really a thing. It's like you kind of just throw your kids in the dirt and see what happens.
mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to like, I guess understand like they made you make your bed. They made you do your like because here me I wasn't.
No, my mom would do everything. So kind of the opposite. Like I wasn't allowed to do too much on my own. They didn't want me to get a job in high school. They wanted me to focus on my studies.
Mm.
And so I kind of just went out and got a job on my own. And I just came home one day and said, I got a job.
That's
And
so interesting.
yeah, and my mom was upset, I remember.
What was the
Um,
job?
I was working at a store called Fashion Town. It's kind of like the precursor to what became Forever 21. That
Why
was
was
my
she
first
upset?
job
You think?
because she said, I don't need money. They would provide me with whatever I needed. I just should be focusing on my studies. And that's a thing, in Japan. They study very, very, very hard.
Yeah.
After they're done with school, they go to another school to study some more, and they get tutoring, and
Sounds like they
it's
just wanted you to just be able to make money, just be
be
well.
successful. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Get good grades. But um, if I went out one weekend, then my mom would say, "Well, no, you can't go out next weekend because you just went out last weekend." So
I got you.
yeah, yeah, just very micromanaging everything.
You feel like it was micromanaging.
Uh huh.
Hearing it to me, it sounds like good parenting.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. And I appreciate. Looking back now, I um, have had wonderful parents, and they made me who I am today. They're the reason why I didn't stray and do really bad things, which I could have. But I always had their little voice in the back of my mind. Don't do drugs, and just be good, follow the laws, and
Did you
so
ever do drugs?
um
Let's take a break right there. I got so drugs. You drink. You don't do drugs.
I do enjoy wine.
Wine.
Yes.
Like a ritual thing? Like do you eat at dinner or drink it at dinner?
I like to drink it when I'm cooking dinner. Just to wind down at the end of the day or socially. Just makes me feel good.
Do you I don't want to speed up past anything. But I mean so you graduate school. How long did you actually do? How many years did you actually go to school to do?
After vet school, it was 8 years
8 years,
total.
like
Yeah.
the dentist type stuff.
Yeah. And after the 8 years, you can, after you pass your board exams, then you can go on to practice, be like a general practitioner.
Is that what
But
you did?
yeah, yeah. But there are specialists, just like with human medicine. You can be a radiologist, a surgeon, pathologist, cardiologist, ophthalmologist. And so, if I had decided to specialize, then I would have had another year of internship and 3 years of residency. So, anywhere from 8 to 12 years of education.
So what did you start doing? Did you open your own place
No,
or?
so after I graduated, actually, I met my husband in vet school.
Oh, really?
I
Is
did.
he a vet?
He's a vet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he works with cattle. So,
You want to plug? Let's plug his stuff.
well, he doesn't go see sick cows, but he works with the large dairies. So he already
Okay,
has all the clients.
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. So he doesn't, um, it's not like a pet cow that he'll
Yeah.
go see. Um, but he grew up on a dairy farm and he wanted to be a dairy veterinarian. And so that is actually how we ended up in Bakersfield because we were in Davis for vet school.
Okay.
And then afterwards, we needed to go somewhere where my husband could work as a small animal vet, which is what I am. I can work anywhere, but he has to be where the larger dairies are. So it was either Bakersfield, Tulare, Visalia, and I had never heard of those other two places.
Which he
But my
probably travels around to all those places too, huh?
no, no,
No.
there's enough work in Bakersfield. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, there
Wow.
are a ton of dairies and large ones. So
What is? I don't mean to take it away. Well, let's just invite him. He's invited on the show. Maybe you can mention that to him when you go.
okay.
I'd like to.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
like to dig into that.
he's a good talker too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he
yeah.
funny?
You'd have fun. Yeah, he's funny. You'd have fun with him.
Is he American? What is it?
Yeah, yeah. He's the opposite of me. So he grew up in Northern California on 1,000 acres on a dairy
Oh
farm.
wow. So he just knows it.
Yeah, he's 6'4".
Really?
Yeah, I grew up in Los Angeles. I'm 5'2". Big city girl. So on the outside we are complete opposites. And in vet school, I remember people said I give them 1 month. They're not going to last longer than a month. But
How far into vet school were you guys whenever you guys met?
well, we were in the same class, so we were together from day one because you stick with your same classmates all 4 years.
Did you feel a connection right from the start?
Not right away. No. I was dating someone. He was dating someone.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. But I think we started talking in our second year, and then we got married after our third year. So the summer between third and fourth year, we got married.
Oh, so it's kind of a quick little. You guys
Yeah,
just knew,
yeah.
huh? That's
Yep,
cool.
yep.
How old were you?
How old am I currently?
How old were you? Sorry, I didn't.
Oh,
You already told us your age. I'm not gonna
was I
put you on blast.
29 or 30 when I got married?
So you guys were
Something like that.
kind of get like almost established by then. Whenever you guys got
Well, not really. What do you mean by established?
like you were making money. He
No,
was
because I was in vet school, so
Okay.
I was, yeah.
Were you living with your parents still?
No, I was living in Davis. Yeah, because it's veterinary school. It's like a full-time job. You have to be there.
Yeah, I'm
It's
stupid. I'm sorry. I don't. I'm very
yeah.
curious.
So it's you know every day, several hours a day, you're just learning veterinary medicine. So it's the same as like human medical school, except that we're learning the same stuff about animals. So it's a very intense program. You have to be there full time. So we were living in Davis, getting financial aid, making zero money. I'm sure my husband Frank, was probably working a little bit, making a little bit of money, but I don't think I had a job at that point.
Was he further than you?
No,
or-
we were in the same class.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were in the same
Okay.
class.
That's awesome.
So once we graduated, we came to Bakersfield because of the dairies, and I started working at Southwest Vet Hospital.
Mhm.
So that's I don't know if you're familiar with that clinic, but they're
It's a bigger one, right?
it's a small building, but they have a lot of veterinarians and staff. They do a lot in
I
that
think I
little
was
space.
thinking about that hospital down there. that they
Yeah,
used to-
it's no, not that one, but they are on Brundage Lane,
Okay.
just past the 99 freeway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I started working out of vet school, and I did just the regular stuff like seeing sick animals, vaccines, spay, neuters, dental cleanings, things like that. And I worked there full time until I got pregnant with my first child at 32. And then I went on maternity leave, and I came back and was only working part time. And I mentioned mentioned earlier, I have 4 kids, so I went on 4 different maternity leaves, and every time I came back and worked less and less. And by the
Really?
end, I was pretty much just working 1 or 2 days a week. It's kids are a lot of work. That's the hardest job out there.
Yeah.
So, I pretty much was going to work at that point just to stimulate my mind and not let my education go to waste. So I'd go and work my 1 day a week and
Do you think that's a family pride thing? The not letting your education go to waste? Because, I mean, you've kind of mentioned it seems like you like the American custom, and that's being lazy. Um, I don't see you as a lazy person. So do you feel like that's like almost like you need to do it?
no, it was more that once my kids were grown, I wanted to be able to go back to it. And
Hmm.
so if I took a 20-year long break, I probably wouldn't remember anything.
I got
So
you.
I needed to kind of stay with it, stay current with the medicine, the new drugs that are constantly coming out, and so. But you know, after COVID, things got so busy in the vet hospitals. I don't know who you normally go to see for your veterinarian, but if you do have a regular vet, you've probably noticed that it's like nearly impossible to get in these days.
You know, I don't have a dog anymore.
Well, you have a cat.
I know. I don't. So, Kevin, my cat that's a girl, didn't know it was a girl.
Uh huh.
That's why his name's Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
He could do whatever he wants. We went and got him fixed, and he died on the table.
Oh
And they
no.
brought him back,
Yeah.
and they're like, "We can't fix him." And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. Like he's a horde. Like he keeps having kids. Like we gotta fix this." Like, I don't know what to
Uh.
do. I don't know what to do now.
Wait. So okay.
They say the anesthesia makes his heart rate fall so bad that they can't fix him.
Well, it might take a specialty center. Like you might have to go to a board certified surgeon for um, the
That's a
surgery,
lot of
which would
money.
be expensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Should I
I
just
think
let him outside and just let him do his thing?
no, 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 no. Um,
I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
There's a lot of stray pets out there. We don't need more. Um, but what was I saying?
I'm
Let's see. Oh yeah,
sorry.
it got busy. COVID
COVID.
times hit.
Yeah.
Everybody decided to adopt a pet because they were sitting at home. They've got
Hmm.
all this time. Like, let's get a puppy and train it. So, um, so many people adopted pets. The pet population rose, and the veterinarian population, if anything, has been decreasing because older vets are retiring and new ones aren't coming to replace them, or at least they're not coming to Bakersfield. So it's work at Southwest was kind of crazy. I'd come in, and before I had a chance to set my bag down, they're saying, okay, we've got 3 walk-ins. There's an emergency. You're booked solid. So and so wants to be worked into, and I would leave the work day just exhausted, and then to have to go home and cook for my kids and do their stuff.
That probably has something to do with why it's so hard to get a new vet, like unless you're
Yeah,
like already there. Because
exactly.
that's the problem with Kevin. Is like you can't
Yeah.
if unless you've been there, you got to find somebody who's
Yeah, it's
yeah.
because a lot of places aren't taking new clients.
Do you think that more people should be getting into the vet stuff? Like, there's like obviously a demand for it, right? Like,
Yeah, they need to graduate more veterinarians because there aren't enough. I think it's a nationwide problem. So I think they are
they need
trying
more
to
schools.
more schools or bigger class sizes. I don't know what the answer is,
Do you
but
think the curriculum is like up to date, or do you think it's overdone? Like the fact that you went to school for 8 years, that's hard. That's hard for anybody to do.
there's a lot to learn though, because dogs have the same body systems as humans do. They have eyes, teeth, a brain, a heart, lungs, liver. All those things can fail in the same way human organs can fail. And so, you have to learn about all of the different disease processes out there for every organ system.
Do dogs get the flu and stuff?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
And
and we don't even know it because we're just ignorant.
well, and they don't always exhibit the same symptoms, or they can't tell us their throat hurts.
That's probably why they act weird some days. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So sometimes it's just a behavior change that you notice, or they're not eating as well.
I'm
Um,
sorry, I've got you way off track. You met your husband, and
okay, so we were talking about it got busy in the vet hospitals, and okay, now we're coming into how what led me on the track that I'm on
you're
now.
working
So
way less and less. You just had your
yeah, yep,
kid.
I have had my four kids, and I was realizing that the appointments that I liked most on my schedule were the euthanasias,
How
which
come?
sounds really like opposite of what you would think, but um, I would go into those appointments, and it always amazed me that these people were there paying money to put their pet to sleep because they didn't want to see their dog suffering anymore. That the easier thing would be to just let them kind of die on their own, let nature do its thing. But because they love their pet so much, they couldn't do that to them. And so, that just always warmed my heart, and just kind of made me think, okay, what an amazing family that they're here doing this for their pet. This is like the ultimate act of love, at the end of their life, to just say, I'm going to take you in, I'm going to spend the money, I'm going to let you die instead of continuing to suffer.
You experienced that from viewing other people, not from
Uh-huh.
having your own animal.
No, no, no. Just from seeing other people, and the emotions involved in the euthanasia. And, I'm an empathetic person, and I could understand where they were coming from. And, this was a case where I didn't have to solve, do a workup and figure out what's wrong with the animal. We already knew the decisions were already made. I could just go in there in a position of helping. This is hard for people to understand, because a lot of people say, you have the hardest job ever. I don't know how you could do that. I just couldn't do it. Well, it's not hard for me because I'm not experiencing the loss. I don't have the bond with the pet that the families do. I'm coming in merely as the person helping the family, helping the pet, making sure that they don't have to suffer anymore. Because you know people think that death is the worst thing in the world, but it's not. Suffering is worse. And if you've ever been with somebody, had a family member or friend that was, say, had a terminal disease, and they're at the end of that, they're suffering, they get to a point where they welcome death. Death is no longer the worst thing. So, to be able to provide that relief, I was grateful to be able to do that, and people are grateful too. In the vet clinics, you have a lot of upset people when it comes to, like, why can't you figure out what's wrong with my dog? Why does it cost so much? But when it came to the euthanasias, they were always so grateful. Thank you for allowing my pet to go and not have to suffer anymore. So, and in
So
working,
I know, I know that, like I mentioned, that's how we met.
mm-hmm.
I don't even know who gave me your number, but I'm thankful for whoever did. And I've been passing your number to everybody I know.
Oh, thank you.
But you watched me cry for about an hour with my dog, and not only was it like one of the worst things that I've experienced, it was one of the best things I've also experienced. You, rather than throwing him on some stainless steel table where he's scared and looking around, because I believe he sees, he's not dumb.
Mm-hmm.
He was laying in bed. He was hugged by me, and it was a hard day. Um, how do you not carry that with you? Do you carry that with you? Do you think of people when you go to sleep? Do you does that does it break your heart, or do you're able to separate yourself and just I'm just curious. I'm not like judging you at all.
Yeah, so
I'm
I don't if anything, what sticks with me um are the emotions that I witness in the families. Like that stays with me. To see people losing, maybe the most important thing in their life at the time, because some people don't, their pets are their family. They might not have a spouse or kids, and their pet has been there through thick and thin. They're so loyal, they just want to be by your side, and then to have to say goodbye to that, and so that stays with me. That is hard for me, but I remind myself we this decision was made out of love. That's the only reason why I was called to the home, was
hmm
because that family loved their pet so
hmm
much, and that pet is at a point where they're suffering now. So it's not like I go to people's homes and do
what yeah
convenience euthanasias.
yeah
That
yeah
I would bring home with me. I don't do convenience euthanasias where if somebody says, hey, I'm moving and the shelter won't take my dog. Can you euthanize it? And if it's an adoptable pet, no, let's find a home for it.
yeah
Actually, one of my pets that I had, my guinea pig, Honey Bear, I went to a lady's home for a euthanasia for her guinea pig, Honey Bear, and she said there was something wrong with its paw, and she was also moving to Texas. It was her daughter's guinea pig, and she got stuck with it, and it was the cutest thing in the world. It was a Peruvian guinea pig. If you've ever seen them, they're darling. They're
yeah
But anyways, I looked at the paw, and there was a wound on it, but it wasn't terminal. And but this guinea pig was also not getting the attention that it deserved. It was sitting in a cage in the laundry room, and it would get treats, but that was pretty much the only joy it had in its life. And so I told the owner, I'll bring your the guinea pig home with me. I've got 4 kids. This will be great. But we'll give it as long as I don't know what's going on with the paw, but we'll give it as long as it has. And then when it comes time, I'll euthanize it humanely. And she was like delighted. And so that's how I ended up with one of my pets. And she has since passed. I had to euthanize her because she lost the ability to walk. But we had her for about 3 years.
did you couldn't figure out what was
I
wrong with
didn't
her,
try.
but
I didn't try to
you
figure
just
it
let
out.
her
Yeah,
it just
I
wasn't
wasn't
it
interested in
wasn't yeah
doing surgery
gotcha
on it, or I
it's a guinea pig
yeah. So I would put antibiotic ointment on it. I didn't know if it was a cancer or if it was just a wound or what was going on. But I wasn't by the time that I was called to her house, I wasn't doing practice at Southwest Vet anymore, so I didn't have access to all the things that I normally would have. So I'm very limited with my equipment that I have at home. So
so you
um,
okay that's what I
I
was
just was
okay.
gonna give the guinea pig a good life for as long as I
Could
could.
you work from home? Could you like is that legal?
You can. So, I mean, I could do full service mobile work, but there are certain requirements. So, you have to carry life saving drugs with you. You have to have portable oxygen,
Oh,
an
interesting.
ambu bag. Yeah, in case there's an emergency, you have to be able to save the pet's life.
Gotcha.
Um,
Like if the anesthesia didn't work.
yeah, you have to have a relationship with a brick and mortar. If you don't offer x-rays, you need to be able to send them somewhere where they can get x-rays done, surgery done, things like that. And it's just, beyond the scope of what I wanted to do. I wanted something simple that I could control my hours and not have too much demand. And so I choose not to do anything other than just the
Yeah.
in-home euthanasia.
And so I got you off track. You said you were just breaking into that. So
Yeah, so how I got started was I had been asked to go to people's homes a couple of times while working at Southwest, and it's hard to do because you have to block off like an hour and a half of your schedule, take a tech with you, go to the home, do the euthanasia, come back, um, and it was a money losing thing for the vet clinic. So I only did it very occasionally, but it kind of planted the seed in my mind that this is something that people want and there is a need for it. And I was trying to think of how we could make it so that the clinic didn't lose money by sending me to someone's home. And eventually, I decided, this working at the vet clinic is very stressful for me, and I can't do that and go home and be a good parent. I couldn't do both, and so I made the decision to start my own business of in-home euthanasia. And the only reason why I was able to is because my husband was working full time and he was making enough money that we didn't need any income from me.
Will you please plug it again and call and
Oh, my husband's
no, I want the name of your company.
my practice. So I'm called A Peaceful Passing in-home euthanasia service.
I have you Peaceful Passings dog lady in my phone.
Yeah, that works.
And in parentheses it says Elise.
Oh, yeah. So I thought, well, I
And you
currently
do kitties. You
I do
said
cats.
you
Yeah,
do
yeah,
cats too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was only working 1 day a week at Southwest, and I thought if I just do two euthanasias a week, I can make what I was making in that 1 day working at Southwest. And so that was my goal, two a week. And I opened the business, and it quickly built up and became more than just the two a week.
I've never seen you advertise. It's always been like word of mouth.
It's word of mouth, yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to the vet clinics in town and introduced myself and left them business cards and let them know that there is an option for in-home euthanasia if
Yeah.
clients wanted. And clients, people's homes. I'd go to people's homes. They would have a good experience, and they would go back and tell their veterinarian, "Hey, I had a good experience with a peaceful passing. Just so you know."
Yeah, so I'll just give my experience so just everybody can my dog Rudder got this crazy weird lump growing on out of his rear end in between the good stuff. And thank you. And the vet was like, "Yeah, we can cut it out, but he's gonna live in misery." And it got to the point. Well, I mean, he was old. He was like close to 14, and somebody had mentioned your number, and I was like, "Okay." And I talked to the other vets, and you are honestly probably cheaper than taking it to.
No, not cheaper, not cheaper.
For the experience, I would say it's worth. I mean, it wasn't expensive. Um, it's worth it. And like I already said it, I sat there and cried for an hour. She sat here and watched, and I guess that leads me into the process. I have this written down. You have this process that you do where you make him feel very comfortable, and then you do it. Could you walk us through your process?
Yeah. So my goal is always to relieve whatever discomfort the pet might be feeling, to reduce anxiety, to get them to the point where they're feeling drowsy and they want to take a nap, and then have them fall asleep and then pass away in their sleep. So I do this in 3 steps. Step one, I give a pain reliever mixed with a sedative, and it's an opioid pain reliever. If you've ever had opioids before, it makes you feel really good. It makes you feel like you're kind of floaty and warm and fuzzy and drowsy.
Releases all your pain.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the first step. We give it like 5 to 10 minutes, and then once the pet is visibly drowsy and looks like they're wanting to take that nap, then step two is an anesthetic. And this one takes them from that kind of semi-aware but relaxed state to asleep. And so with the anesthetic, they're more into the next like dream world. They're no longer aware of what's happening around them, no longer feeling touch, not feeling anything, no pain, nothing. And once we get them to that point, then I do the third and final injection, which is a euthanasia injection. But they don't know that that one's happening. So for them, the experience is being relieved from the pain, falling asleep, and then
The last
that's
thing
it.
they
Yeah,
see is their
yeah, and they're in their home or on your bed, wherever they're most comfortable. And for dogs or cats that are still eating and still have an appetite, we'll try and make it as good as we can. So I'll tell people, prepare some kind of a treat that you think that your dog will go crazy over. You go to McDonald's
yeah.
and get a cheeseburger
You
or
told me
something.
exactly, and I
Yeah,
went and got
yeah.
him a big old burger from Wendy's.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever. Chocolate.
It's a
No food is off
baconator.
limits.
Yeah,
Butter, ice cream, whatever you want. And so the dog is happy.
yeah,
If they're sitting there eating that, and while they're eating that, I give that injection. They don't even know that they got it. And, they got a belly full of treats and they get drowsy and fall asleep. And that is the experience to them. They don't know that anything different is happening. So, although we know and it's hard for us, I think it helps to know that for them it was a good experience. And so, that's what euthanasia is. The definition of euthanasia is good death. And so that's, what we're trying to do is after they've had this wonderful, good, full life, let's let that ending be good too. Give them a good death. And so that can only happen though if, they don't die. Sometimes natural death involves a lot of
hmm
suffering. So,
yeah.
you don't get to have a good death if you're suffering before get to be relieved.
Do you believe that animals have like a soul, like there's a life inside of them, or do you think that they're just animals? Because in my mind, I'm like they're real. There's something inside of them. They're just in a different body than us.
Yeah. So I think, nobody knows for sure what happens to us afterwards, but personally, I do believe in heaven, and it's described as being paradise. And I believe that pets go to heaven too because, I mentioned before, for some people, their pets are their life. Their heart animal, their spirit animal, their best friend, their child almost. And what kind of paradise would it be if that friend wasn't there with them, right? So for that reason, I think they're up there too, waiting for us.
I always have this thing that I say to people, like Adam. They say in the Bible, like Adam, God gave Adam the ability to name the animals, and I feel like he named dogs because it's like just a mirror image of God and
Hmm.
his love, like
Yeah,
they just love you no matter what.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't know, I try to share that as much as I
Yes, yes. I love that. Yes, I have heard that before, and yes, I love that.
can. I'm kind of curious. Let's take a break. Let's take a quick break because I want to keep I want to keep digging into this.
Okay,
If you unless you're are
I'm good.
you
I'm good.
okay? Cool. Let's take a break and we'll get our new chairs. I'll just put this on there. I'll cut it out if it goes different. Um, look, we got new chairs. We got our new chairs. We can lean back. Everything.
Comfy.
Um, were your parents around for the bombs?
My yes. In fact, part of my mom's home had burnt down, and so she was born. Um, Not in a hospital, but on the property in a different part of the home. I don't know too much about their childhoods, but my dad was born in 43 and my mom was born in 47.
It's crazy that he would have wanted to come here after that had all happened. Almost like he didn't have like a I'm just gonna say that I hate violence. I hate it so
Mm-hmm.
much, and but like, how do you not have resentment for people who've done something like that to you? You know?
Well, Japan, they're a very nonviolent country, and they're very forgiving too. And and America's a land of opportunity. That this is where you can make your dreams come true. And my dad knew that, and he was, like I said, ambitious. He had goals.
Yeah.
He wanted to make money, and I don't think that was going to happen working at the cutlery shop.
Do you do pretty good off of what you do?
I
Well, I imagine you're busier than crap, right?
I'm busy, but I limit my schedule because I'm still first and foremost a mom. So I drop my kids off at school in the morning, and then I work while they're in school. And then once school ends, I go pick them up, and I'm mom.
Have you
So
ever thought about like expanding and like hiring more people to help out with what you
I
do?
thought about it, but my system is really simple right now. I have an online scheduler, so most people I don't even have to talk to. They just go online and schedule their own appointment because I don't have any staff. I don't have a receptionist. I don't have somebody that schedules appointments for me. I answer all my calls and emails, and um, so I try to keep it as simple as possible. If I hire somebody, then there's a lot more that
Yeah,
I
then
have
you're
to
gonna have to like
do.
talk to them and
Yeah, yeah. And
yeah.
then I think about, well, what if they're sick and then I have to cover their appointments too? And just the logistics of it all scares me. And I'm just not, I'm a people pleaser. I don't like confrontation. And so if I had somebody that I needed to reprimand or fire, God forbid I had to fire somebody, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'd probably just shut my business down. I
Oh, that would
just,
be terrible. You can't do that. You what you're doing is heaven sent.
aw, thank you.
Um, I really mean that. I've said it. I think this will be like I don't know. Wait, I don't know, think you understand how important your role in life is. Like, it's. I mean, and maybe I don't think it's just me. My dog is everything. I don't have him anymore, but I am very glad that it was through your hands that he went home. Um, I want to. I didn't realize you were Japanese, so I don't know much about you guys. You as a person, your culture. Um, your mom. You said your mom spoke Japanese to you, and
Mm-hmm.
your dad spoke English.
Mm-hmm.
You said your mom was a more stricter one, and she's still alive. Can you tell me more about her?
Yeah, she lives in Marina Del Rey. She lives in a condo by herself. She does not work. My parents were good savers, and um, so she doesn't have to work. She can live comfortably on what they have saved. So she doesn't work. She has a very quiet life. When my dad passed away, her world really shrank because he was the one with all the friends and activities going on, and my mom is a very quiet person.
They were
She's
together. They never split up or anything.
No, no, they stayed together.
That's cool.
Um, she
See it here in America. We break up and divorce all the time.
yeah, yeah, yep. No, they stayed together, and she I don't think she ever really had a job. Really, she was a stay-at-home mom. She cooked for us, did all the shopping, and it's because of her that I want that for my family. So I um, try to make it a point to cook dinner almost every night, and
Do you
then we
think
all eat
that
together.
sometimes you're being pulled apart from your dad and your mom? Like you need to be this business person, and she wants you to be this mom.
No, she's happy. She wants me to be successful in my business and be successful as a mom. So she's very happy with where I am now. Yeah.
Would you? You think your dad's proud of you?
Yes. Yes. And before he passed, yeah, he told me that, although that decision that I made all those years ago was hard, he knows that it was the right one for me because I am in a wonderful career. I met my husband in veterinary school. My life would be completely different if I had gone to law school.
Did he ever meet your husband?
Yes,
That's
yes,
cool.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he died happy man.
Mm-hmm.
He everything he did, he did. He made the
Yes,
right decisions.
yes,
That's
yes,
awesome. What
yes.
are your kids into?
Music.
You
A lot
said
of
that.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
music. So I have four daughters. 19, 17, 15, and 12 are their ages. My oldest is
All
in college. Yeah,
daughters.
all daughters.
Oh
Yeah,
man, a bunch of
yeah.
arguing in there.
Well, you know what? They're actually really good.
How do you wake them all up?
You know what? Um, Kids these days are different than like when you and I were
Explain,
teenagers.
explain, elaborate. Because I
Um,
don't know. I don't have children.
okay, I didn't know that
I
about
don't
you.
have any children.
Okay.
I just met a girl about a year ago, and
Oh,
she's my world.
okay.
Um,
Oh,
she has a child. I'm still trying to work my way around that. I don't
how
really.
old is the child?
She's 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm 39. So it's a it's a learning thing. I don't really
Yeah.
see. And this is the thing. I mean, you know, I mean, you might not know. I don't know if you remember me or not, but I'd been single for like 15 years. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've met a couple girls here and there, but nothing's ever happened. And so this is like new. You know, I feel like a little kid.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It's scary. I think it's more scary than it's exciting.
Well, that's a good thing. It means that you care about her and you don't want to lose this. It's special to you, and that's why it's scary. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. You wouldn't care if you didn't care about her. So that's a good thing.
That's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I need to. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for spending your time
Oh, you're
here.
welcome.
So as a four, four daughters,
Yes, yes. So, oh, you were
Jesus.
asking me what they're into. Yeah, so music. They all play a different instrument and as well as piano. And so they are.
You
Um,
play piano.
I play the piano.
Which daughters play what?
My oldest plays the euphonium.
I don't even
So
know what the heck
a lot
that
of people
is.
don't know that instrument, but it looks like a smaller version of I guess, a tuba. So it's still kind of big. It's considered low brass. But so she plays the euphonium. Are you looking up? Um, so euphonium is spelled EUPHONIUM. Euphonium.
You phone.
Take away, yeah, take away that. Oh well, close enough. Euphonium. So take away that I there, and then NIUM. Yep.
I'm so slow. Oh, it's almost like a French horn trumpet.
Well, it's bigger. It's a big. It's about this big.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's I guess so tuba is the lowest brass, and
Okay.
then next would probably be like the euphonium tone. It's low. It's a low
Okay.
sound. So you don't hear a lot of solos with an instrument like that. It's more like background accompaniment. But so she plays the euphonium. My second daughter plays the alto saxophone. My third daughter plays the French horn, and my fourth daughter plays the clarinet.
Do they play together?
Yeah, sometimes they
Oh,
play
it's
together.
so fun.
It is fun. It is fun. Yeah. So there's a lot of noise in my house.
So it makes me think that you were playing music early on in your
I
life,
played piano my whole life.
your whole life. How old
Hmm
were you when you started piano?
6 maybe.
Really? Why didn't you dive into music? What
Music
did
is
your
still very
parents?
much a part of my life.
Did they make it important, but they made it like you need to make money, and then
Yes, it's a
music?
hobby. It's a hobby.
It's a
It's
hobby.
not a job. Yes.
You know, a lot of people make a lot of money off playing music.
Yes. Yeah, but that was never going to be path, but
Oh,
it was.
where do you steer your kids? What do you want them to do?
I want them to do what makes them happy. So, I, I tell them, think about the lifestyle that you want to have. Um, if you want your summers off and the holidays off, maybe you want to be a teacher. If you want to make a lot of money, you're going to have to go to graduate school and do something more specialized, like medicine or law. One of my daughters at one point was saying, I want to be a baker. I like to bake. I said, okay, that's fine, but you're going to be waking up at 3 in the morning. It's a tough life for you. You can be very, very successful, but it can also be a very stressful career because you're not quite making the money that you need to make ends meet. And say, like, think about how much a cookie costs, like $3. How many of those do you have to sell
So you
to?
still have that dad in you. You still have your dad in you telling like, "Hey, hold on,
Yeah, yeah.
do it, but do it right."
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. You better be the best baker in town, if you're gonna be really successful at it. But
that's good motivation.
yeah, yeah.
It is.
So I encourage all of my kids to to go to college, but to major in something that's actually useful. I took the Dave Ramsey course at one point, and there was something funny that he used to say: "Don't go to college and major in left-handed puppetry. Don't go to college, spend a fortune on your education to learn something useless that won't serve you in your career." So college, is a stepping stone to get to where you want to be. Uh, have kind of a general idea of where you want to head to, and then do what you need to do. So college, and then beyond that, professional school is great because then you always have a job. If you go to school to be a dentist, you'll have a job anywhere, and
Yeah,
you'll always have a job available. Um,
everybody needs, and that's the thing is like, so when I go to my dentist, he's got 5 people here, 5 people here, and
yeah.
he's just bam, 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 bam.
Hmm.
It's just he's making thousands an hour, and
Yeah.
but like I said, 7 years at least just to do that, and then you have to learn, then you have to actually experience,
Yeah.
and then fall into, oh, I need to start my own thing, and so there's always a growth curve, I guess, to everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so um, I'm going to encourage them to, because with the college degree, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, this day and age. You can graduate from UCLA with a degree and then still end up at Trader Joe's, working there.
I agree, but if you didn't go through all that, you wouldn't be
Yes.
doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you go out with an art and you're an artist and you're making money off of art, that's one thing. But if you're trying to, like I said, like you provide somebody something that most people don't, and you, like you said, there's trauma that goes with it. You have to be a strong freaking person to do what you do. I admire you, and I am very thankful that you did it. And that's, I don't mean to get sidetracked again. I'm just very intrigued by what you do.
Oh,
It's
well,
awesome.
thank you.
It's a cool thing.
But yeah, you're right. Not going to college closes doors. If you want to keep doors wide open so that you can do whatever you want, go to college because then the scope of what you can do is much more broad than if you don't have that college education.
Do you think it's an ambition thing? Like, if you have the school,
I
and you,
think support too. You have to have parents that support you through it. If your parents need you to work in the family business, then you may not get the opportunity to go to college. Or if you don't have the money and you don't get the financial aid, you might not be able to. If you go to BC, but then you're also having to work full time, it's easy to just get sidetracked and not be able to follow through.
and that's kind of what I noticed whenever you were talking about the Japan, like coming here. Like your dad knew he had a responsibility, and he wanted to provide for his family.
Hmm.
Here, our custom isn't. It's really unfortunate, you know what I mean? But it's like we promote like promiscuous and just rather than just taking care of your kids. It's I didn't mean to take it this way, but it's your dad sounds like just a good dad.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yes, very inspirational.
Were your uncles, your family,
They're all in Japan.
they are?
Yeah.
You ever talk to any of them?
When I go to Japan, which is not very often,
Yeah.
but growing up though, we would go to Japan every summer, so I would see them
Every summer.
every summer. Yeah, yeah, because my mom wanted to see her family, so we would go and spend time with my dad's family, my mom's family.
Do you miss it there at all?
Japan is fun. I,
Yeah.
I went recently. I went like a year and a half ago, and we took our whole family. It's so much fun for girls, for women, because there's a lot of shopping there. It's like shopping
Okay.
mecca. It is. It's yeah.
For like what? What do you guys like to buy?
All sorts of cute, cool things. I can't even describe, but um, yeah, I think my husband was a little less impressed with the shopping. But there's also really good food, and yeah, we had a great time. My kids want to go back. Um,
Do you guys vote?
yes.
Yeah. I don't want to get too far into that.
No, yeah, politics, religion, those are that can get kind of dicey.
Yeah. Uh, how do you feel about the future?
I'm excited and scared.
You mess with AI at all?
Yeah, like Chat GPT, yeah, Grok. I do. I do. I think it's amazing.
It is
Neat resource.
scary at the
You know what
same
I'm
time.
most excited for is self-driving cars.
You like those?
I can't wait until I can just because what I do right now requires a lot of driving. I'm
Uh-huh.
driving to people's homes, and if I could just sit back and let somebody else do that driving,
And you could
that
get
would be a
work done,
lifesaver.
yeah.
Yeah, I could do some paperwork or whatever. That would be great. And I see that in my kids' future. They're gonna have they won't have to drive. I think that, and then I feel like the car accident rate will be a lot less too, because
I always say this thing like we should just make like Hot Wheels. Everybody should just drive Hot Wheels, and then like we work an hour less a day.
uh-huh.
And so whenever you get in wrecks, it's funny. Nobody dies. It's just funny.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, dang, you broke my
Uh-huh.
you broke my plastic wheel, but I'm gonna keep going. Great, I have to walk.
Aw.
It'd be fun. Um, Listen, you are an important person to this world, and I'm very thankful for your time. Um, I always try to end the episode with some positivity.
Mhm.
What would you say to somebody in your worst position, and how would you what would you say to yourself?
I'm trying to think of what you mean by your question. So someone in the worst position, you mean
In
in my job, like a family losing a dog, or no?
I always think about it like a hard place in your life. When you're in that hard place in your life, and you just wish you had some encouragement. What would you say to
So
yourself?
I would say don't give up, because you never know. Life can change in an instant, and sometimes you have to go through difficult times to become who you ultimately are. So, unless you are challenged in life, you don't grow. Sometimes those challenges are hard, and those are what we grow most from. And so having adversity in your life makes you a stronger, better person in the end. And while you're going through it, it's terrible, but if you just keep pushing through, I believe that that there's a reason why um, life kind of takes us on these different twists and turns. Like I was supposed to be a lawyer, and it was a hard decision for me to let my dad down and end up doing what I'm doing. But I'm glad that I went through that. I'm glad I didn't just take the easy route and say, okay, I'm just going to do what my dad wants me to do and be a lawyer. I made a difficult decision and I got through it, and ultimately, I my life is wonderful now. I met my husband because I became a veterinarian. I have my 4 kids because I met him. Um, but sometimes in life it's very difficult, especially like teenage, early 20 years. You have no idea what you're doing. You do a lot of stupid things. You end up in difficult positions, and sometimes it just feels you feel helpless, like this is never going to get better. What's the point? Why am I even going on? But if you just kind of just take it, like people say, 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, get through that, and I think that you'll find yourself in a position where that event made you a stronger, better person. And also, I'd say keep being kind and good, because I think that when you are a kind, giving person, that comes back to you a hundredfold. It's call it karma, whatever you want, but when you do good deeds, eventually that comes back to you. So just keep being a good person, treat people kindly and with respect, and don't judge. You never know what another person's going through, what they're dealing with. Be supportive and helpful. And then when you're in that position where you need help, it will come to you. You will have that support because of who you are, and being a good person.
I think don't judge is the biggest thing, because when we judge, we lose those opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Elise, thank you so much for your time. I love you so much. And why don't we plug your stuff one more time for anybody who wants to?
Who might be interested, and
Yeah.
if you live in Bakersfield and you have a pet that needs help, you you can call me, or you can Google my business. I'm A Peaceful Passing, and my website is apeacefulpassing.org, and it's got all my information, my email, my phone number. You can schedule appointments through there. And sometimes making the decision is the hardest part, and sometimes you need to talk it through with somebody, and I'm always happy to have that conversation. You can call me, and we can talk about what's going on with your pet, and I can help you decide if it's time, or maybe if we have other options that we can explore before you come to that decision. But yeah, I'm happy to talk.
Okay. Thank you guys. Have a good night.